स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, अपकमिंग जो यंगस्टर्स हैं जिनको एडवर्टाइजिंग में करियर बनाना है, उनको उनको एक सही डायरेक्शन कभी मिल नहीं पाती है. एंड विवेक का भी यही थॉट प्रोसेस है. फर्स्टली विवेक, आप अपना को इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहेंगे उन लोगों से जो आपको देख रहे हैं और आपसे आज सीखने को मिलेगा उन्हें.
Hello Preeti, and hello listeners and viewers. I'm very grateful to Preeti that she thought of such a series. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, लोगों को आइडिया नहीं होती कि किसी करियर में कैसे घुसा जाए, उसमें कैसे अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाया जाए, उसके बारे में कैसे तैयारी करनी चाहिए. और just to talk about myself, I got into advertising in a very accidental fashion. It so happened that जब मेरा MBA का इंटर्नशिप का पीरियड आया था, तो बड़े सारे ऑप्शन है समर ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए, इंटर्नशिप करने के लिए. और उसमें से एक ऑप्शन था, एक एजेंसी होती थी उन दिनों, माँ बुज़ेल.
ओके.
और वो मुझे 1200 रुपये दे रहे थे इंटर्नशिप के लिए.
दिस इज लाइक हाउ मेनी इयर्स बैक?
Some 35 years ago.
Guys, you're really talking to a legend of the industry.
And बाकी जगह मुझे कहीं पे 500 रुपये मिल रहे थे. कंपनी होती थी विमको जो माचिस बनाती थी, वो मुझे 600 रुपये दे रहे थे महीने के. तो मैंने कहा चलो थोड़े से पैसे कमा लेते हैं, मैं बैंगलोर चला जाता हूँ और वहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप कर लूँगा. So for me, advertising was an accidental discovery. I mean, I would have otherwise been doing something in sales or marketing, I guess. And so I went there, and then I got smitten by the business, the profession. And here I am sitting in front of you all.
And also another thing कि इन्होंने कभी भी switch नहीं किया. तो usually advertising professionals जब after certain time they feel like switching to the other side, तो marketing में चले जाते हैं, brand side चले जाते हैं. But he is now retired from Innocean Worldwide, which is the in-house agency for Hyundai. And yes, now we're going to talk to the youngsters.
Actually, a lot of people have come to, just a humorous aside, a lot of people have come to me saying, what do I do? I've got this offer. So I tell them that, listen, in my 35 years, I've only changed 3 jobs. So I'm the wrong person to come to for such an advice. I spent 5 years with Mudra TDP, then I spent close to about 14 years with Triton Communications, heading their Delhi office, and was the executive director there. And then of course I joined Innocean, which I set up from scratch in India in 2005 December.
And he never left then after that.
Yes.
So I think he's absolutely the right person to do this, these kind of series and videos, because youngsters should try to stick to what they want out of advertising, and I think he's the right person. So here we go.
Sure.
What are the initial signs you think, Vivek, कि एक student को पता चलता है कि I am the right fit for advertising?
ये बहुत ही अच्छा सवाल है. सी एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे प्रोफेशंस में शुरुआती दौर में ही पता लग जाता है कि अच्छा इसकी तरफ रुझान है. जब किसी को कोडिंग में इंटरेस्ट है तो लोग बोलते हैं हाँ ये अच्छा कर लेगा क्योंकि इसका लॉजिकल माइंड है, या ये मैथ्स में अच्छा है इसलिए इंजीनियरिंग में जाएगा, फिजिक्स में अच्छा है तो ये कर लेगा, या बायो वगैरह अच्छा करता है तो डॉक्टर बन जाएगा आगे चल के. क्या है कि एडवर्टाइजिंग के लिए कोई ऐसा शॉर्ट फॉर्मूला है नहीं, बट फिर भी कुछ ऐसी क्वालिटीज़ होती हैं स्टूडेंट्स की, यंगस्टर्स की, जिससे पता लग जाता है कि हाँ दे आर probably going to do well in advertising. And there are 2-3 such indicators that I would like to point out.
Okay.
One is that you should definitely be curious. Because these are people who ask questions for everything. They don't take obvious as an answer. That's point number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, you have to be a bit of a problem solver. Because as I have seen through the years, working up the ranks in advertising and communications, as we call it now, is that problem solving is a very important aspect of the job. And people who are good at problem solving, people who are curious, I think these are the 2 primary traits. And the other third point is that if you like to work with people, if you are a good team worker, then I think with these 3 qualities, you can safely tell your parents that yes, मैं ऐसा नहीं कि मैं बेकार हो जाऊंगा, मैं एडवर्टाइजिंग में बड़े अच्छे से जा सकता हूँ और एक अच्छा करियर भी बना सकता हूँ.
जो आपको लग रहा है बेसिकली जो मेरी जो क्वालिटीज हैं ये एक्चुअली में टैलेंट है मेरा जो एडवर्टाइजिंग में इस्तेमाल हो सकता है. करेक्ट. तो एक जेस्ट, लाइक यू सेड, एक तरह का एक जेस्ट चाहिए, टेम्परामेंट चाहिए. तो किन लोगों को करियर एक्चुअली बनाना चाहिए एडवर्टाइजिंग में और किन लोगों को आपके हिसाब से करियर नहीं बनाना चाहिए एडवर्टाइजिंग में?
See, actually in all these years I have met so many different people in advertising. I've met engineers who have left well-paying jobs and
to come into advertising
at 1/10 of the salary. Not just that, because I remember years ago when I joined Mudra, at that time there was a gentleman, he had left a job with Citibank in Chennai to join as a copy trainee in Mudra that time. And if I am not mistaken, Citibank used to pay probably 7,000 rupees a month. Mudra used to pay copy trainees 1,500 rupees a month, but his passion was copywriting.
Okay.
So he came in there
Okay.
and did it. So
Passion बड़ी चीज है.
passion is very important, and you have to probably be okay with certain initial years of extra struggle and hard work. See, because advertising is a profession which evaluates you on every.
It tests you.
It tests you every minute, every day, every hour, so to say.
And there are no working hours in advertising, as they say. You believe in that?
See, I don't now probably don't believe in it, but I mean, I remember when I was much younger in the business, first year, second year, I never used to leave office before 9 o'clock. In fact, one day my boss said, "Why don't you leave early today?" It was 6:30. I came out and I used to live in Lajpat Nagar that time. I crossed South Extension. I got off the bus. I said, "Chalo, usko thoda ghum lete hain." Then I said, "Oh, world is so nice, smartly turned out people walking around, buying things, eating golgappas, etc. Something which I had forgotten for 2 years, pretty much." So, of course, it's very demanding in the initial years. But then the satisfaction of, let's say, giving rise to a new concept, making that concept come alive in the form of a communication piece, be it a print ad, be it today a social media content, be it a television commercial, or maybe an engagement idea which you are doing on ground. That's, I think, unparalleled, and that's what makes people, stick with advertising. And
कौन से लोगों को पहले से ही उनको पता होना चाहिए कि भाई advertising is not meant for
see,
them?
if you are an introvert and if you are emotionally fragile, then I don't think advertising.
And you're lazy.
Yes, of course, and laziness.
Lazy,
But at the same time, let me not trivialize this thing. But what I mean is, if you're too touchy about little things, then what happens is, in a scenario which is slightly ruthless when it comes to choosing the best idea, you tend to feel a little left out. You tend to feel a little low at times, and I mean, now of course a lot of things have changed and people tend to carry their teams along. But yes, I mean, you might feel left out, you might feel a little bit on the wayside. So it's important that you are a team player. It's important that you have that extra energy in you, passion in you, and you should have persuasive argument skills which you can use to bring people on your side of the argument and things like that. So these are important.
Street
traits.
smart also.
Street smart, yes. I mean, there's no way that you can do anything without being street smart. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, what are the different kinds of careers in advertising?
See, traditionally, if you look at advertising, from the way it was when I started off, we used to have very simple division of labor, if I may say so. Of course, there was client servicing. Our job was to make sure clients are kept happy. We understand their briefs, they understand their communication, marketing needs, and come back and translate into briefs for the creative people. So that was the job of a creative team, which used to be an art director or a copywriter. And then we had a media team which would prepare a media plan and decide on the exposure levels that the brand would require. Now, as we moved further, apart from these three, a lot of other things got added. I mean, people started having in-house film specialists. So film production as a career is a possibility in this. Some agencies have also got in-house photographers now. So if you have a good photography bent of mind and you're good in terms of knowledge of photography and various techniques therein, of course that is there. Then agencies have what you call a studio. Studio is a finishing studio where artworks etc. are prepared, visuals are finished etc. So if you are a person who has a good knowledge of Photoshop and all the other Adobe tools etc., I mean, studio is an area that you could probably be working in. And now digital is a new angle that has been added. It's not new anymore. I mean, it's been there for the last decade and a half.
Correct.
So digital has given rise to a whole new set of opportunities there. Of course, social media is there. So you have content writers, you have content visualizers, people who visualize posts, etc. Then there are people who manage influencers and everything. So that is one part
and
of the business.
These are in office work positions.
Yes.
Guys, these are not work from home. Okay, तो वो clarity देना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Everything that Vivek is talking about is work from office right now.
See, the other point that I want to make sure is that people understand is that advertising is not a business that can be performed remotely. Now, ultimately, you have to come back to being together because it's a business
Yes.
which is about ideas.
You have to connect, right?
And ideas cannot happen in isolation.
Absolutely.
Ideas cannot be thought of individually. Of course, you can think of them individually.
But you have to come
But
together.
then, you don't know how will it survive in the real world. So that's where brainstorming, working together, working collectively happens. And almost all agencies are now coming back to working from office. So they might have a little bit of flexibility here, there.
Okay.
So that they can bring about soft landing. To come back to your question about what are the career opportunities, so in digital, then there is media within digital, where you have a whole lot of possibilities in terms of programmatic, in terms of performance marketing, and all of that. Then there is another side which is data driven, because a lot of data is being generated through digital platforms. Now, there is a requirement within the system of people who can make sense of that data, make it into workable intelligence that brand can use, brand managers can use, clients can use, even the agency can use.
Okay.
So, a lot of opportunities are emerging now which are to do with data analytics.
Okay.
So, broadly, these are the areas that you can look at. And yes, of course, at the end of the day, I mean, as we say in the business, that if you are good with ideas and if you can live another day without the disappointments that normal people feel, you're ideal for advertising.
And let's come to the main part also कि पैसा कितना मिलता है एडवर्टाइजिंग में, मतलब अगर बच्चों को अंदर घुसना तो उनको क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन होनी चाहिए?
Good question, very good. See, advertising has multiple streams of entry. Now, if you're a copywriter, there's no defined definition of qualification for a copywriter. Anybody who's good with language, anybody who's good with expressions and words is ideal material for a copywriter. The only caveat I would like to put there is कि भाई उसको खाली अच्छा लिखना नहीं आना चाहिए, उसको कंज्यूमर ओरिएंटेड तरीके से लिखना आना चाहिए.
Okay.
कि वो ब्रांड की बात कंज्यूमर की समझ में जितनी जल्दी आ जाए और कितने कायदे से आ जाए. सो जो भी मार्केटिंग रिलेटेड इश्यूज होती हैं उनको एक अच्छी तरीके से पिरो के अगर वो एक अच्छा सा पीस लिख लेता है तो वो बढ़िया कॉपीराइटर बन सकता है. और एक पहले लोगों को बड़ी गलतफहमी थी खाली इंग्लिश बोलने वाले लोग एडवर्टाइजिंग में आ सकते हैं. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है.
अच्छा.
इनफैक्ट द वर्ल्ड बिलोंग्स टू मल्टीलिंगुअल एडवर्टाइजिंग प्रोफेशनल्स
एंड स्पेशली इन दिस एरा, राइट?
वेरी मच सो.
Yeah.
इनफैक्ट ये तो बहुत पहले ही चेंज हो गया था जब से पीयूष पांडे हैड सेड दिस इयर्स अगो दैट English as a language alone cannot be the basis of advertising. I mean, he didn't say these words, but that was the intent of
Correct.
it. And it's 100% correct today.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you see, we have people who can think and write in Tamil, Kannada, Gujarati, Hindi के तो बहुत सारे writers आ गए हैं. मतलब in fact, bulk of the work now, कहाँ एक ज़माने में सारी फिल्में इंग्लिश में लिखी जाती थी ब्रांड्स की, अब आई थिंक मोस्टली हमें खोजना पड़ता है यार कोई इंग्लिश में लिखी है कि नहीं.
अच्छा, ओह, that kind of change you have seen.
Yes.
तो पैसा तो बता दो कितना?
हाँ, अब इसमें क्या है कि अगर आप फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट हैं तो थिंग्स कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 25,000 rupees a month to about 40,000 rupees a month as stipend. And this is a position or situation that you have
40,000 rupees stipend.
हाँ, per month.
Not bad, guys.
Starting from 25 to 40,000 is the range, and you have to persist with this level of income for 6 months at least.
अच्छा.
Because that's the probation period that companies put you on. They view your performance, they look at your work, they evaluate your output, etc. And also how well you fit into the system. And after that, then it can, it grows.
Okay.
It grows at a fairly good rate. And then it's purely performance driven.
Okay.
The advantage that some of the other people might have in terms of salaries if they come from certain, let's say designated institutions.
Okay.
If you are, let's say, unfortunately there aren't very many universities or colleges which offer courses in advertising.
Okay, we will actually come to that. पहले आप ये बताइए कि how should an aspirant approach
An agency?
No, not just an agency, actually for the education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. I was jumping the gun, I
Yeah.
think. So what happens is कि यहाँ पे ऐसे कोई कोर्सेज है नहीं, बट क्या है कि कुछ चीज़ों के लिए आपको कोर्सेज मिल जाएंगे.
Okay.
जैसे अगर आपको आर्ट डायरेक्टर बनना है, विजुअलाइजर बनना है, तो आपको डिज़ाइन में पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा, डिज़ाइन का कोई कोर्स करना पड़ेगा. अगर आप बहुत ही अच्छे स्टूडेंट में काबिल हैं तो आप NID अहमदाबाद से पढ़ के आ सकते हैं. और भी बहुत सारे अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूशन हैं, JJ स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट है, दिल्ली कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट है. इनफैक्ट एवरी बिग यूनिवर्सिटी or university worth its name has a fine arts department where you're taught graphic design, you're taught commercial design and all of that. So if you've done a course in commercial design or you've done your bachelor's in fine arts, then you are ideal material for being a visualizer or an art director.
Okay.
Copywriters, so we have people who are engineers, like I said, we have people who are graduates in Hindi, English, Sanskrit, any language for that matter. So anybody with a passion for expressions and skill for expressions which are catchy and which are let's say interesting to read can become a copywriter.
So you are saying कि अगर किसी ने पहले इंजीनियरिंग कर ली और बाद में उसको रियलाइज हुआ कि इसका पैशन जो है वो एडवर्टाइजिंग है, तो दे कैन स्विच करियर्स वेरी इजीली.
100%. इनफैक्ट हमारे इनोशन में तो करीब 150 लोगों में से 25 लोग इंजीनियर ही होंगे. So, और इसमें मतलब अच्छी जगहों से पढ़ के आए हुए इंजीनियर.
उनको Hyundai का शौक होगा, उनको
नहीं एडवर्टाइजिंग वाले वो प्लस उसके वो उन्होंने कई लोगों ने अपना करियर, किसी ने JWT से शुरू किया, किसी ने उल्का से शुरू किया, किसी ने लियो बर्नेट से शुरू किया, किसी ने डेंसू से किया. सो दे ऑल कम फ्रॉम. इनफैक्ट आई विल टेल यू समथिंग. मेरे साथ एक पिछली एजेंसी ट्राइटन में क्रिएटिव डायरेक्टर था हु वाज अ MSc हॉर्टिकल्चर.
Really, this is like poles apart.
Absolutely. I mean, वो उसने बैचलर्स में पढ़ाई की होगी कि फसल में कौन सी खाद डालनी चाहिए, फसल के कीटाणु कौन से हैं, क्या है. तो एक बार हम लोग एक खाद की ब्रांड के लिए पिच कर रहे थे, तो क्लाइंट का मार्केटिंग मैनेजर हमें कुछ ज्ञान दे रहा था. उसने खड़े बोला, सर ये खाद इस समय नहीं पड़ती है, ये इस समय पड़ती है. तो वो बेचारा.
So knowledge never goes waste. I have learned this in life. No, absolutely.
In fact, that gentleman is a very senior creative director now with Ad Factors. His name is Shashank Gupta.
Achha.
And one of the good brains that I've worked with in my career so far.
Okay. So basically, students can actually take तो degrees ज़्यादा better है या certifications?
See, एक basic degree तो होनी चाहिए. See, because what happens is it at least fulfills the basic development of your mental faculties.
Okay.
So if you've done a bachelor's and you've been a reasonably good student, so I think it takes care of certain amount of academic rigor that is required. वो ज़रूरी है. बट उसके अलावा सी सर्टिफिकेशंस का रोल जो आता है वो डिजिटल के एरिया में ज़्यादा आता है.
Okay.
Because digital is continuously evolving. Now Google introduces a new toolkit. So for that you need to have certification.
Okay, correct.
Facebook adds something to their business suite that people use. Amazon ने कुछ नया वो अपना business service में add कर दिया. So to understand all of that, how it is used, etc., you need certification.
So diploma better है या degree better है advertising में? जैसे कई लोग graduation एक regular graduation के बाद diploma in advertising कर लेते हैं. कई लोग ग्रेजुएशन एडवर्टाइजिंग में करते हैं और उसके बाद डिप्लोमा नहीं करते हैं. तो which one according to you?
See, I think there isn't not much of a significant difference, but yes, they do find themselves at a bit of a disadvantage later in the career when they come face to face with people who've got, let's say, I wouldn't call it superior education, but people who've come from more recognized institutions. Let's say there's a place called MICA,
correct,
which actually offers one of the best programs in communication this side of the world. Now, if you're from there, then you have a very good grounding in strategy. You have a very good grounding in every aspect. It's like a 360 evolution of your personality, making it fit to become a advertising professional. Not just an advertising professional, but also a very good brand manager.
Okay.
So that's one advantage.
And which are the other good institutions?
See, Baki, there is there's a Xavier's thing in Bombay, and Delhi University now has across certain colleges courses which cover advertising and public relations.
Okay.
Then there is Indian Institute of Mass Communications, which is there in JNU. I mean, these are some, but by and large, I've met people in client servicing who've done their MBAs and they have left well-paying jobs just to be here because they like the challenge. Then there are a lot of engineers, like we were discussing a while back. There are a lot of people who've done textile designing.
Have you ever hired anybody who has taken education from online portals?
You mean to say upgrad kind of things, etc.? See, those are people who've done specialist courses. So let's say I can write well, but I am not very good at writing film scripts. So there are some specialist courses which tell you how to write film scripts better. There are some specialist courses which tell you how you can write maybe media related content better.
So basically ये जो upgrad, बायजूस, अनअकैडमी, जितने भी ये एडटेक स्टार्टअप्स हैं, तो इन ये लोग डिग्रीज प्रोवाइड नहीं करते हैं?
They will
Like
give
a
you a
regular
specialist, little bit of a niche course which
Okay.
you can use to probably enhance your capability in an area.
Okay.
So, but
But
I
do you
don't think that is
recommend-
critical to your survival in the business. I don't
Acha,
think
but
so.
do you recommend these courses?
See, anything that helps you gain an edge
Hmm.
in terms of what your current job profile is recommended.
अच्छा, आपने पर्सनली ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स या फिर ऐसे एडवर्टाइजिंग प्रोफेशनल से बात करी है जिन्होंने इन इंस्टीट्यूट से, मतलब जो ऑनलाइन इंस्टीट्यूट्स, मैं आई एम जस्ट टर्मिंग देम, से एजुकेशन ली है, स्पेशलिस्ट कोर्सेज करे हैं, एंड दे हैव बीन इफेक्टिव इन द job profile that they have?
See, I would definitely go to the extent of saying that it does help them understand the situation a little better.
Okay.
Ultimately, your capability is something else. It comes from a different level of, let's say, involvement with the job. This will probably give you the level of technical information and knowledge that is required at the base level.
Okay.
How you apply it and how you benefit from it is purely an individual's own discretion.
Okay. एंड फाइनली एजुकेशन ले ली, डिग्री ले ली, डिप्लोमा ले लिया, स्पेशलिस्ट कोर्सेज कर लिए, सब कुछ कर लिया. अब इसके बाद एक फ्रेशर को, एक एस्पिरेंट जो अब ये फाइनली तैयार हो गया है, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट फाइनल स्टेप in terms of completing the education and then moving towards the
Okay.
advertising career?
See, एक तो एजुकेशन कभी कंप्लीट होता नहीं है, वो तो लाइफ लॉन्ग, मेरा तो अभी भी चल रहा है. So I think
चलते रहना चाहिए.
See, advertising has this beauty, inherent beauty in it, that you are perpetually learning. Every client you meet, every new brief you work on, every product that you work on is a learning experience. I remember many years ago I was working on a brand of I think shaving cream or something. So he started saying, "Man, guys, there's nothing complicated rocket science about shaving." He said, "No, you guys don't understand. The hair on your chin has the same strength as a copper wire." Now, I mean, these are all some kind of
intense.
This is all trivia information, but that's
Absolutely.
what makes. But it's inputs like these or discoveries like these that make the profession
Correct.
and its output interesting.
Absolutely.
So when the guy is writing copy or writing a strategic note for the creative people to work on, he will take that into account and say,
मतलब हम एज अ व्यूअर्स वो एक एड देख लेते हैं, बट सो मच गोज बिहाइंड दैट 30-second ad, guys. Oh my god, I mean
it's a lot of rigor, a lot of effort, and a lot of technology as well now, post production, etc. I mean, you'll know better, you make so many videos so often these days.
Yes. So विवेक, तो फाइनली तो एक स्टूडेंट को जब वो तैयार है तो उसको मतलब अब अप्लाई करना कैसे शुरू करना चाहिए? मतलब should that person just wait for some more time to, like, is there a right time to do it, or immediately after education what is the next step?
See, what I normally recommend to people is that if you've done your graduation and let's say you're in your early 20s, advertising is a good profession to start with. And you can approach an agency, you can approach a network. I mean, there are large global networks, and there are a lot of independent agencies as well.
जिसके बारे में हम अगले वीडियो में बात करेंगे
So
in depth.
Yes. So what you can do is you can approach them, you can reach out to the HR managers, or you can reach out to the business heads there and submit your resume. And if you are trying to become a copywriter or something, they'll give you a bit of a old-fashioned thing called the copy test, just to check how fluent your thinking is. If you are a visualizer, then they look at your portfolio, what you've done.
Interesting.
And if you are a client servicing person, then it's about how good you are with people, how good are your interpersonal skills, and if you want to be in the strategy aspect of the business, which is called account planning, then then a lot more rigor is required. I mean, then we prefer people who've got certain level of management education.
Okay.
It's a bit of a cliche, but that's how it's been built.
And we'll delve on that further in the next video. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and understood the nuances of starting a career in advertising, which is very important. As you can see, Vivek was oozing with all the information and knowledge. यार 30 साल 35 साल की जो information and knowledge होती है ना, वो मन करता है सच में ना, you have to give it back. So Vivek has come to that now, and you can see, he's so much passionate about actually teaching the youngsters to follow the right path to advertising. And I mean, you want to say something?
See, teaching is, as they say now fashionably in the youngsters' term, is a side hustle for me. So I keep going to these colleges, institutions where I can interact with the youngsters and help them resolve their queries.
Absolutely.
So very recently I'd been to APJ School of communications and very interesting interaction with the youngsters.
So guys, अगर आप ये वीडियो देखेंगे और एंड तक देखेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि नेक्स्ट विवेक को कहाँ पकड़ना है. वो APJ स्कूल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन भी जाते हैं. साइनिंग आउट. बाय.
Bye bye.